What up, chat? No, that's not what I want. All right, there we go. What up, chat? How we doing? What up, Miguel, Umar, Slightly Toasted, Dev, Com, Esso, Ron? What up, TCM? You want your 7535 ES retest? That would be nice. The hard part is we retested that right off the open. So I don't know if we're going to get that or not. What up, Leon? Just passed my 10-4 50 daily eval. Hell yeah. I'm doing good. I'm doing great. Since Jake wasn't streaming today, I decided to take the decision to sleep the hell in and actually get, like 8 hours. Not a bad idea. Because when I finally looked at the charts, I didn't watch the open. But for those of you that are on, do you remember us talking about NVIDIA like all week? And the opportunity there like all week? Because I got this. And I can't complain. We didn't get the 215s. We got close, but for me, it wasn't worth holding anymore. But this was one of those aggressive options trades, which was no trims. I realized that I had the wrong expiration. I thought I had Fridays. I had today's. So when I opened charts, this already happened. And I was fairly content. Never in the same sentence. It doesn't happen often, Vish. But no, I'm likely done with options for the week for sure. I'll still trade futures. We'll see if it's overall funded or evals depending on market structure. I'm open to trading both. But that trade, just full transparency. Because we talked about the account I was using from Friday, right? The 400 and the 1700. I withdrew that down to 1,000. I lost like 15-20% of that on gold, which that still haunts me because we hit final target on those spreads, which would have been near max allocation. So if you're in the Discord and you held those, congratulations. That would have been like $75 to like $450 at least, with a little time decay, obviously. But I rolled that 700 into these NVIDIAs, and it went 700 to 5,700 today. So I'm done with options on the week. I'm going to take a fat withdrawal, call it a week on options, and be back next week. Yeah, I really can't complain. But no, it was 0 trims, full exit. I think I took a picture before I exited. I think it went like 700 something percent, which is delusional. But the game plan was there. We talked about it yesterday on stream, and honestly, a majority of the week. Yeah, 760-ish. What up, Ake? How you doing? You think this flushes in Asia or we gap fill? The nice part is I haven't done a deep dive on this yet. So we're basically going to do that together. For now, I'm just letting price action play out a little bit. Probably going to miss a short entry, right? If you were in off this, beautiful. If this continues, we could see if it pushes back. But if we lose this like 515s, I would expect lower. Do you trade 0 to E? Not all the time, Dev. If I do, it's risking for 0. Like what I like to do is just put the whole position at risk. Or if not, let's say I'm planning on a 50% loss, I will size for 80%, maybe 100, just so I don't stress about it. Because the mass majority of my options losses in my career have come from 0 days. And it's not even close. But it's also because you guys see a lot of times I'll look for those larger moves, and on 0 days you run out of time. Time's not my friend in options. The videos were today. I had thought I had Fridays though. So I had picked the wrong expiration. But even so, I was willing to risk probably 80% of that, $700, $750 that was in it. That's why they went so high. If they were Fridays, they would not have gone 700 something percent. Yeah, Dev, it worked well. But I mean, am I going to say it was the best execution in the world? No, I opened charts. I actually got a notification from Robinhood that said, hey, yo, your options expire today. And I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. And I opened it expecting them to be down like 70% because obviously I hadn't looked at the market yet. Saw the P&L and I was like, not bad. Not a bad 30-second trading day, you know? Chat, I'm going to wait for a few more people to jump in. But in the meantime, I'll be looking at some charts. I mean, the fail high of day doesn't look good right out the gate on ES and YM. Glad we got out of YM last night because I did see that flush. So that would have stopped anyway. So I took the smaller risk. Wasn't interested in putting on more. Gold, I don't know if anyone's been trading that, but we have been talking about this name religiously. It hasn't gotten to that 4200s, but we hit 4150s, which was our next big target. No, Brad, these areas of interest for me that we continuously just respect very well are me looking at the 15-minute chart. And a lot of these I draw on stream. I just look at the 15-minute chart, draw support or resistance, be like, this is where we likely should go if we're going to trend that direction. Like if we break this one right here, where would I kind of look to? First, right out the gate where I'm just like, this could be a solid area, would be around here. Few reasons. Held it all throughout this, decent size support through this. Tested 3 times here, tested once again here, and that is also today's lows from the pre-market. So if we break this 116 or 516, 515s, I would anticipate like 504s. Chat, we will be doing a giveaway today if you guys do get the likes up. Y'all know that. Y'all remember that. Obviously, I haven't put it in there yet, but I don't want it to be on there when we're looking through charts. While I'm kind of doing a brief analyzing of the charts, let me know in chat what you guys are watching. And I'll do our typical bullish, bearish kind of poll here as well. So let me know what names and direction y'all are watching. If you want levels in there too, throw them in there. Spelled tonight wrong. Gold, Miguel, you can't just say gold in all caps. What are you watching on gold, my guy? Sitting in short from 075. Not bad. Looking for 18. Looks like that wick should have got you close. Right, I'll give it another minute, and then we're looking in the charts. And KD, how did the dollar close? Dollar's aggressive, dude. This makes me so skeptical of a broader short. Because if this breaks out back above 101.35, if this was any other chart, you would expect it to take out those highs in the next few days. If we take out 101.85, we have some serious room to the upside. Because every time we get in this ballpark on the dollar, I guess I'll start analysis now. Every time we get above 101.85s, which is why this is a hard level for me, you can see big rejections, broke through, ripped, big rejections, just consistently all the time. Every time we get through this area, we rip into the 102s. If we see that, that's not good. Whenever I see stuff like that too, it always makes me wonder what big catalyst is about to happen in the market. Like, what is about to make the dollar rip through the ceiling and everything else possibly flush? Blink, if oil gets back up towards 100, I think we are. Yes, Chris, that's why I said what could possibly lead to the dollar ripping and everything else flushing. Yes. If the dollar gets aggressively strong, the indices will likely see a broader pullback. What up, HB? Especially with oil being heightened right now as well. Just off of my knowledge, what I know and what I've seen currently play out in the past few months, just in this typical market, if we continue to get strength on oil and strength on the dollar, I do not have a good outlook for the indices. I don't. What we used to talk about when oil was back up around this kind of area, anything back over 100, basically like 101.5s now because of contract rollovers, up into that 110s, and the dollar over this, like it was 100.2 at the time because I think we were back here. I was going to be the most bearish person in the entire stock market if that ripped. And I'm still at that point. If that ends up happening where the dollar gets an aggressive squeeze alongside oil, I flip pretty macro bearish, but I'll still be willing to trade either direction on the day. We'll see though. Is that a ghost wick on gold? Hang on. No, that's an actual wick. What the hell did you guys do to gold at the open? Interesting. I doubt it filled any orders if people had them. I really don't have much to say to gold. If you look at this chart and you just erase this wick, more bearish at the moment, just off the lower time frames, right? We did test above the open. Didn't quite fill the gap if that's what you're looking for, but then we started pushing back lower. I really don't count this wick as like a retest of anything. To me, I just ignore wicks like that because there's no real confirmation there. So it just depends how we trade. I don't love this because we're up near the mid to high range on gold. 4 hours currently just sitting stagnant. If we lose like 4 120s, yeah, you could look for some downside. Anything above that, I still lean more to the upside. So like 05 to 120s on gold can keep me more leaning up. But if we break that, that's where I'm like, oh shit, we're getting back in the lower end of the range. Things might get a little spicy here. All right, so overall correlations on the higher time frames. Move happened in 30 seconds. That was an actual move. That's crazy. What up, Elder? I realized why I've been taking L's on my first trade all week, so hoping tonight is different. Elder, what was it? I'm glad you did too, Daniel. We'll see if it plays out more. For now, though, we are a full inside bar on RTY, full inside bar on NQ. Daily fail to go higher on ES and YM. So not like the greatest outlook. If you guys still remember what we talked about through a majority of the week. Basically, so 550s, essentially now up to that like 560 area, because that's where we've been getting the wicks to. So that little 10-point range. And then obviously the lows are down around 475. We haven't revisited that yet, but we have this like 515, 520s in the mid area. While we're within this, I fully just anticipate trading range. If we get a break lower under this like 516s, I start to lean towards at least a test of yesterday's lows. If we test yesterday's lows at that point, it wouldn't shock me if we went 4 points lower to 500, right? I don't look at this daily chart and go, hell yeah, I want to be heavy risk. I don't. When the market's like this is when I want to look for that relative strength and weakness names, primarily towards like the options aspect, and be like, all right, what looks good for the rest of the week? We have NQ rejecting the 29 340s to 400s, which is that daily now daily resistance. Holds below that structurally on the daily, keep this thing weaker. What's the weekly look like as we come into Wednesday? Well, Thursday. Weekly is just a small consolidation bar. What is the monthly? Monthly is a full inside bar other than NQ. I don't like, I see what I want to happen, but it leads to me just not wanting to be, it leads to me wanting to wait for the rest of the week to play out and just come back Monday or Sunday. I'll obviously be here today and tomorrow. I'm not going anywhere. But I don't have the highest of conviction. Because right now, what are we doing? If this is a 5-minute chart, we are consolidating at the lows of a prior trend bar, right? We're still in a range, but that is a trend bar. Open at the highs, closed at the lows, trend bar. We're consolidating at the lows of it. If this wants to get bearish, I would want us to close right around where we are. Full transparency. I would want us to close right here on the weekly. Next week, we go for that crack below 74, 75s. If that breaks, you get the flush. You get that move down to basically 7,400, possibly lower. That would be dream world if I was bearish. I would not want the market to really move much the next 2 days. Now, mind you, if we end up selling off sooner, then yes, that would be more of a bearish thesis. And yes, that'd be something to be willing to trade. But I'm just talking on the overall charts. It would make, on the daily, you could look for a break of 505s. I don't see a whole lot of upside interest at the moment. Looking at the higher time frames, looking at the weekly, looking at the daily. 4 hour, I guess you could look for a broader support hold around this 515s. But there's not enough there at this very moment that makes me look at any of these 4 charts and go, all I want to do is long. It makes me definitely more interested in shorts, but my only thing is how far. If I'm anticipating us to kind of hold a little bit on the daily, it's like, how far can we really push? Is the big question now. I think similar to the last 2 days, I think there's opportunity to be had during the overnight, but there's also opportunity to just get caught. At the moment, just doing a brief look on the indices, though, I do lean more to the downside than the upside. For sure. Based off everything. 15-minute consolidation above 515s if you wanted to. You could take a little bit of an aggressive entry if you want to take something. Not even that aggressive. Put a stop above the highs. Target this area. Little 2 to 1 right there. Not terrible. 14 points profit. I'm not opposed to that, but I really wouldn't want to be shorting into 16. I'd rather be shorting some type of push higher like this around 21. If that pushes, that could be a really nice early session trade. Just to get us back down near yesterday's lows. Because then you'd have the hourly. I mean, it's not. Right now, we're an inside bar. NQ did push lower, so you have to keep that in mind. So if it does break this low of session, you'll likely see a bit of a continuation. This chart, it just looks like it wants lower for me. It's very hard to long this. Unless there's some type of aggressive gamma structure sitting at like 15, like this should not break. It's harder for me to long this than it is to short it. What up, Ledger? And my first green day in 8 days. Hell yeah, BL trades. What up, BL? What up, Hitch? You trade against the trend. Well, yeah, that's a big one. Unless you're looking to buy those support and resistances, then yeah, trading against the trend is going to hurt a lot. Yesterday, I was looking for longs at open. I really didn't play out. until 5 a.m. this morning. Thesis was there. By the way, chat, I don't know if anyone took it. We had a thesis yesterday at stream. It worked for a little bit, but wait for the pullback into 35s. Long that. If you played that out, I did not. That would have got you basically around like 10 points for a quick trade into the Asia Open, which was, where's it at? Oh, wait. Asia Open would be right here. So it came up, just front ran it a little bit, then ended up getting it after a bit of a pullback. So trade thesis worked out a little bit, nothing extreme. I obviously probably would have wanted higher, knowing me. Started trading oil on the 5-minute chart. Do you have any correlation charts that you use, or other characteristics that you could share? Dax, just know oil for me, and those of you who've been on stream for a while know my thought on it and trading it. Oil is a name where I love trading it when it's consolidating, because it loves, unlike NQ, where NQ loves short-term volatility, especially within ranges. You get big wicks either direction, which can take your stop. A lot of time, oil respects those like extremes, highs and lows within a range, even if it's on a 5-minute. But when it does break, it can break with some serious force, especially if you have news catalysts going on, like us being in an aggressive war. But typically you'll find broader ranges. Like if this wants to play out for a little bit, it can sit like this. It'll build a pretty solid range. And then I usually look to trade the extremes. So if we get down towards the lower end, maybe take a long with a little bit of a wider stop and then look for that pushback higher. Because when it does break, it likes to break aggressively. That is my favorite thesis to look for on oil. Look for the higher time frames to fully give you confirmation. And then look for that like 5 and 15 minute consolidation to build out. Or if you get more an aggressive pullback into a strong support that you can long off of, that works as well. Oil was a fun one to trade though. You just have to be prepared for volatility because it's going to come. What up, Most Fab? Can we pull up into that gap on ESNQ? Don't have to. We really don't. Can we? Yeah, but we don't, there's nothing that says we have to fill this gap at all. And that's how gaps usually work on the indices. We could fill this gap in 2 months and it wouldn't make a difference. Over time, we'll fill it for sure. Are we going to eventually trade back into 75.40? Yeah, we could do that today. We could do that in a month or two. But I usually just don't fixate on gaps. For me, what I'd be looking at is if we got above the open and this like 35s area, we'll likely head back higher towards these highs, which would then in turn fill that gap. So it's paying attention to structure and price action. And just mainly because a lot of people will fixate on this and they'll be looking to only long into that to fill that gap before any move happens. There's no rule book that says this has to fill right now during this session, you know? What up, Ledger? Yeah, if we do break lower, we have a lot of room. Young Finesse, the only thing I've traded since last night's stream is NVIDIA. But this was a swing trade I was already in. I got in this like mid to early day yesterday, and I just held overnight. I think when it closed, I was up 10, 15%, something like that. And then obviously today it ripped. Sorry to hear that, Most Fab. I mean, these are definitely the markets where people are going to blow up in. I see it everywhere. I see it absolutely everywhere. But that's also why you guys see me being more patient in general. What's the hourly look like? Here's the thing though, too. If NQ does want to end up holding these lows around like 29.20, 29.30-ish and give us this hourly failure to go lower, can we push back to the open? 100%. I would rather see ES get a spike of these lows first, but it doesn't have to. Because the indices aren't moving extremely fluidly together. Was this little push Tesla earnings? think we had that today. Tesla down 4%. I guarantee you Tesla was probably priced in for like a $30 to $40 move. So like we said, Tesla's probably going to be relatively flat for now on earnings. That crushed a lot of people, I would assume. What was the other one? Google? Google also a little red. Interesting. So two earnings with a little bit of a miss. You think props will let us trade single stock futures when they launch? Yes. The super broadcast, they obviously have to figure out all the stipulations around it. What's the best aspect for rules on those type of accounts, trade parameters, leverage, all of that. But in general, they're going to want the hype behind it. They're going to want the market space that they can capture from being the first people to allow that. Yeah, they're going to do it. It'd be shocking to have a prop firm be like, nah, we're not allowing single stock futures. When I can quite literally go on a prop firm and trade wheat if I want to. What up, MD? Wandering Wild, I'm not sure where that one was, what that's from. Yeah, Juve, 100% we could bounce off this. If you, like we've talked about, if you want to continue to trade the range and you want to buy off this support, throw something like, let's say you get a long up around 20s. If you want to throw a 7-point stop down below 14s, I don't hate that. If you think we're going to end up getting a pushback higher, if you want that gap fill overall, right there's 3-to-1 risk to reward. Even if you go upwards of like 10-point stop, you're looking at a little 2-to-1. I don't hate that if your anticipation is going to be overall range. What we're kind of setting up a little bit like at the moment, just not as much on the hourly, daily type of structure, is from, what was that, Monday? Yeah, Monday. When we got this initial sell-off consolidation at last week's lows that just ripped and never returned. What up, Johnson? That's my problem. I see so much potential in the market, and I'm taking all of them instead of waiting for A++ setups. Yeah, most of it is just over trading. It is. I mean, in this market, we are in a range-bound market. If you're in a range-bound market, how many trading opportunities do you think there's going to be every single day when we're bouncing off of supports and resistances consistently? You can paint a picture where there's just non-stop entries and trades. Or you can be very patient, wait for some type of potential that you genuinely want to see play out, and then trade it. I would much rather take 3 trades in a week that have higher conviction than try to stab 5 trades a day. Just because I know if I'm waiting for those higher risk, not even higher risk to reward, higher probability setups that I like the risk of, how do you think your P&L is going to look after that? Versus continuously just trying to trade throughout every session, every single day. I mean, it even shows for me though, because I'm not trading all day, every day. And I'm on damn near every stream that we have, at least for a little bit. You're on shorts on gold, entered 133. I like the entry if we hold. Yeah, you shorted the highs. If that holds, a beautiful entry. Chasing trades, it's tough. It is. I mean, 2 days ago on Monday when we looked at this and I talked about entries down at 75 and didn't take it twice, that sucked ass. It ripped like 100 points the next day. That really sucks to not be in to catch at least part of that opportunity, but it's a part of trading. It's going to happen. This is going to happen to me hundreds of times, thousands of times in my career. Those of you that have been on this week know this day, I didn't really execute to what I wanted to. Obviously I didn't take a trade that day. But if I technically missed out on this entry. I missed out well, not missed out, poorly executed on gold, where this contract, which I had 14 of, would have gone from $75 to about 450, 460-ish up here to my exact trade plan. Those two trades, those two overall ideas, thesis, correct, but poorly executed. If I sit here and look back at these and let those impact my trades for the next few days, I'm going to trade like shit. I'm going to lose a lot of money. I don't care that this happened. Does it suck? Yes. Is it going to happen thousands of more times in my career? Yes. That's just the stock market. But no, it does suck. Let me throw this on stream. Also, Chad, did anyone else not know what to do with the morning because Jake wasn't streaming? Or was it just me? Weekly break of structure, potential, top wick of current candle. Adam, what do you mean by that? Exactly. When I got my payout, I was taking 1, 2, 3 trades max a day. Most VAP didn't do that. Then 100% do that. If you find your best aspect of sitting and only taking 1 to 3 trades a day, do not let yourself take 4 to 5. It's not worth it. You've proven that's how you trade your best. Why are you taking that many? Why are you taking double that number? You know? Completely forgot, dude. All of the other streams, even though Jake said it on his stream multiple times, and on Instagram was, where's Jake? You had a mini meltdown because Jake wasn't streaming? It happens. Yeah, Adam, it could be. I'm just more so interested how the indices react to this area down here. What up, Jess Trades? How you doing? Oil could hit 90 tonight. If it gets over 89s, yeah. To be honest, oil's next leg, I would kind of want 91.6s. We're holding support well so far. My current problem with shorts is NQ right now. Because everything else is an hourly inside bar, which can make it easier to short. NQ's a very strong lower wick thus far, looking like it wants to retest the open. So it makes me kind of start to wonder if we end up holding into the top half of the range. Hold this 5/16s. MD, we've been hitting them with those every single day. I don't know if anyone's been watching Twitter or anything lately. It has been nonstop for like a week straight. And Trump said we're planning on hitting them even harder. Which is kind of crazy that the market's still doing as well as it is, even though we've come out and said we don't want peace at the moment. What up, Victor? I'm fairly interested in how NQ closes this 15. Because 15, 30, hourly 5, if it holds, looks like it can easily push back into the open, which is only 30 points. Hell yeah, MD. Taking a chance long from 520. I don't hate it. If someone told me they long this with an anticipation of the 516s holding, cool. If someone told me they were shorting it with anticipation of us holding below 25s, looking for a break below 16s, cool. I don't hate either, but NQ definitely has me weary of shorts. Depending on how this 15 closes, obviously. This 15 did test higher. If it ends up closing a fair to go higher, I don't want longs. I still lean more so short, but obviously in this market, you got to be open to trading whatever. Agreed, MD. If short's going to play out, I think I need a little more structure confirmation. What up, AT? How you doing? I feel like this chart right now for me is going to be waiting towards Asia open. Like, I definitely see the long opportunity. The hardest part for me is ES hourly. Like, longing that is tough. NQ is obviously a lot stronger, but I don't really want to trade NQ. Just because I would be in micros, and I do not like the discrepancy between minis and micros on price action. Oil holding, gold stagnant. Dollar should open in 9 minutes. Everything's still below the open. Yeah, I need to see how this 15 closes. What up, A-Trades? Chat, how'd you guys do today? I know a few of you commented you didn't do well during New York. But how'd you guys trade? What'd you guys trade? Options, futures, whatever. Yeah, Johnson, I feel like late Asia had a lot of price action. Earlier, obviously yesterday, we didn't really move much, which I'm cool with, taking that 1/2 loss and just calling it there. But no, during the later Asia, we've been moving really nicely. Looks like during Allen's stream, we've been getting some decent pushes. Allen's stream here, big rejection, big reversal back higher after stream. Last night right here, this big break was on Allen's. Silver long this morning? I know that already hit. Just because I know what gold looks like. All my assets in pause, holding for better structure, PA to play bias. Hell yeah, MD. Took no trades on my funded, but made so much on my practice. Leon, ain't that a bitch? Ain't that a bitch when that happens? You're like, I don't want to trade funded today. I don't love the price action. And then you just absolutely crush it. Started green until I started forcing trades for absolutely no reason. If there's a market that's going to make you do that, it's this one. For sure. Up green 1.5K on your second day of 50K. Hell yeah, brother. Had to keep telling myself not to hop in. Super annoying. Most of the time when that happens, the easiest thing to do is just walk away. Just get away from your entire setup and do not look back because it ain't worth it. So far, the holds of 16 are working. The only thing I don't love is how slow we're kind of trending. Obviously, we're battling a little bit here, getting very, very low volume. But if we can get above this like 25s on ES, I would expect the attempt probably back into 35s. Called long on YM. 52 480-ish. BL trading the Dow Jones. 52 480-ish. Nice. So with this little consolidation here, you caught that long. Either that or you dip bought the absolute hell out of this pullback. Either way, it looks like it worked well. If you look at NQ 15 minute is pulling back, what do you want to see to get a feeling it wants to continue moving down? Atif, the hardest part for me right now with shorts is the NASDAQ. Right now, the NASDAQ's the strongest name, right? The only thing currently fighting the open we just talked about, it looks like it kind of wants to go back up there. If you look at the 15, this is an aggressive buy candle off the lows. Very aggressive. My thesis or my problem with this is you look at the 15, which is closing in 3.5 minutes. We either have to sell off this aggressively to then fade this 30 minute into a failure to go higher and fade this hourly to look more bearish. This is an aggressively strong hourly candle at the moment, especially with the failure to go lower. This whole failure to go lower is the reason I wasn't willing to take shorts down here, even with this more bearish candle, which I talked about. If NQ gets above the open, I have no interest in shorts. What I would need to see is this hourly not look like this and get 18 minutes of selling pressure. Reject off the open, push back lower, fade this 15 minute a little bit to give it more of an upper wick, and then look for that break back below basically 29.60s. If that doesn't happen and we get a stronger hourly close, you're kind of shorting this bigger failure to go lower, and at that point, I would need some type of failure to the upside. Show me that bulls aren't going to be able to keep us above the open and this hourly's close if we end up getting a stronger close. But for now, I'm definitely cautious on shorts because of what we're currently doing. I'm not opposed to it. I'm just patient on it. I love when you're stalking setups in the one session you're not watching or overnight the move happens. Always. Always. We're not pumping yet. Off the lows, NQ's only up 60 points, which it definitely not crazy in this market. But if we get above the open, NQ can definitely push, and it will probably get more aggressive. And you guys that are looking for a gap fill will likely see that. Especially if we get the 15-minute and hourly close above the open, I would anticipate that overall quote-unquote gap fill. And at that point, I think we're just maintaining the higher end of the range, and we can start looking for long setups. Chat, all I got to say is we can't let tonight be overly bullish because the chat did pick bearish so far. Obviously, that'll change as the market goes up. More people will hop in, more people will go bullish. But if the chat's picking bearish, we can't let the market just face rip. That's just a not good look. Where's Rake this morning? Traveling. Jake's coming back to his setup. He's back to Puerto Rico. But how you doing, Marks? You waited to 2 a.m. for him? No, brother. He mentioned yesterday. I also mentioned on stream yesterday, and then he mentioned on his story that he wasn't on. I'm long NQ, baby size, selling most at OP. The retest, I'll look for the gap fill. Hell yeah, BL. So far, it looks good, right? I mean, you're less than 2 points away from the OP. 15 just closed, strong as shit on the NASDAQ. If we get continuation above that, I'd be shocked if we didn't break the OP. But obviously, we don't have the 30-minute hourly closing yet. Still at 15 minutes for that going into Asia. But that's strong on the NASDAQ. That's very strong on the NASDAQ. Now we just see if we can hold the open or not. Makes me kind of wonder if we go for upwards towards like this end of day data high, possibly yesterday or today's highs. Because we got above the open, now we're pushing. Glad I waited on shorts since the initial thesis was more bearish than bullish. But obviously I'm not in the longs. Tate, you're short ES. What's your thesis on it? Almost filled. Hey, when I size small in a winter. Yeah, BL. The problem is then you'll size up and it's going to be that trade that just instantly reverses. What up, Bugs? Yeah, Chase, and I mean, you watch me talk about the opportunity of longing down there and why I didn't want to short because of NQ. Did I take it? No. This week might just be a more patient week, and that happens. But I'm definitely open to maybe we get up near the open. Maybe we can get up to here, get a little bit of a pullback to retest this like 26s, and then we look for that push. Retest this little high while NQ hits high of day. See, if you look at where these are sitting, while NQ hits new high of day, ES should get up near the open. And then if we look for a bit of a pullback, maybe NQ back to the open, ES back to this area, we could look for little dip buys. I'm not opposed to that. What's moving right now, though? Is Tesla recovering? No. Google? No. What's moving? CRM's pushing a little bit. That daily looks horrible. Meta's down. MU's ripping. Got it. So we have MU pushing hard. NVIDIA's flat. Which, even though I already traded NVIDIA and already out of it, if NVIDIA breaks 215s like tomorrow, I know I said I'm done with options for the week, but if it breaks 215 and we get structured tomorrow morning, I might take Fridays. Because the chance of this thing ripping to like 220, 225s knowing NVIDIA is aggressively high. Every single time we break this resistance as well, as we look at this, right? Break the resistance, immediately rip 4%. Break the resistance, immediately rip 4%. If we get that tomorrow, break this resistance, get around 215s, give me 4%, 224s. Guarantee you 220s right now are fairly cheap, which I'll double check. Obviously be higher risk, it's NVIDIA. But if I go NVIDIA, let's go Fridays. 220s are 48 cents. If this move happens, that's 1,000% return. That's absurd. NVIDIA's been so weirdly priced this week. For how much these semiconductors are ripping, I think NVIDIA contracts are so underpriced. Which is also why I took the higher risk swing on it. And my Cleve, you got 2 calls for what? What up, 7? Gold looks nice. It does. Yeah, gold's back above the open, breaking new highs. That looks solid. Oil's a little bit weaker. Not overly interested in that. Dollar finally opened. Nice little gap down, which is interesting. TZM, I expect to pull back anyway. No, I went to poop and missed the whole move. I'm on. That's just poor timing. That's when you take your phone, open your broker, and you're sitting there staring at it the entire time. There's nothing better than getting paid to go to the bathroom. I longed NQ based on ES off the first low, aiming for the open. Stop. Got hit. And now we're at my TP. Damn, Vish. So you likely just had a little bit too wide of, or too tight of a stop on that, assuming. Will fill that gap. It looks like it should, at least on NQ. I would still love to see us get back near the open. My problem is I wouldn't want that to happen until after Asia opens. At this point, if we're looking for longs, I want this hourly to close as aggressive and as strong as it possibly can. And then we look for a continuation on the last hour. Warlord, what makes you think that? Can we? 100%. But what I would need is no matter what, a spike higher now if this hourly closes like this. If NQ hourly closes like this, stronger, I have zero reason to be interested in shorts. Zero. I think that could fake a shitload of people into trying to short. I mean, 4 hours trying for a higher low within the range. We held a massive support on ES. Solid support area on NQ. Didn't get all the way down to that 29s, but close. This chart's hard to short. This 15's hard to short. If it ends up pulling back aggressively, so be it. But this is a hard structure to want to just jump in shorts on for me. Primarily just on NQ though. The stop was based on ES's lows, which was respected, but NQ went lower. Vish, that's the hard part is when you're basing it off of another asset's price action, because you know ES and Q aren't always going to trade the same, right? They have no problem. NQ has no problem breaking these lows, which actually this low break, depending on which one you were using, gave more conviction in along with the failure to go lower on the hourly. If I was looking to trade gold, what would my entry be? I mean, if I got like an ideal entry, probably right around where we were. I would need a wider stop most likely. Enter there, stop under the lows. Yeah, it's 15 points for me. So not overly interested. But no, if you like gold and you think it can push, watch how this hourly closes in 6 minutes. If this hourly closes strong, we could easily start pushing back up towards today's highs. Especially if oil tries to be weaker. And the dollar as well. Yeah, Vish, right here. So that little bit of a divergence got you. The hard part is just basing a stop off another asset when you know they trade different. And I'm not saying it's wrong, but that's where you can get wicked, especially on something like the NASDAQ, because the NASDAQ is a bitch. Let me go here. Let me do. I forgot my little cheeky pinned plug in chat. So give me 1 second. All right, there's my cheeky plug in chat. All right, let's see how we push into Asia and what early Asia does. Taking a short here, short scalp. What you looking for? I'm in shorts. Decent money you guys are shorting. What's making you guys want to short this? Just curious. 12 points on NQ or ES? Just goes degen. Chat, I'm just saying, if you take a second and read the last like 5 chats, you'll see exactly why I'm more patient in this market. There's people shorting, there's people longing, there's people waiting for shorts, and there's people waiting for longs. That's why I'm a little patient. NQ's a good boy, bro. Don't short it. I mean, you're hearing that from the man himself. Oil is booming. Where just fine. Geotension's still high. I think stocks go down heavy. Stocks good. I just think my biggest thing, Warlord, is if we go down heavy, I want it to be next week, not this week. I want smaller weekly consolidation candles, and then we look for the weekly 3-bar play next week. I would much rather see that than see us attempt to break this week. Damn, there's a decent amount of people shorting. Long from 29.047. Hell yeah. Rejection of 50% of new day opening gap. Back into 50% discount on the rate. That sounds like some ICT stuff. Because obviously I know 50%, but I have no clue what you're talking about. Dude, I just got a 2K surround sound system for my TV with my last payout. Well, Polar Bear, I'm glad you spent it wisely. Well, holy shit, a 2K surround sound? What up, Diana? How you doing? As long as you guys that are shorting this have solid risk, you should be all right. Get on the short train. No, I'm on. There's nothing about this recent current structure that makes me want to short this. Not even a little bit. If it works, beautiful. But I'm not interested in that. Also, because I don't scalp. Polar bear surrounding the whole neighborhood with that. Bro, I have a surround sound system for my room. And to date how old it is, it has a DVD player in it. And it works flawlessly. I think I got that when I was think I got that in the 7th grade. So that shit's old and it still works like it's brand new. I will not buy another one until that thing breaks. DVD, damn, I feel ancient. I mean, Vish, if we start talking VHS, then you feel ancient. There ain't nothing worse than your rewind button on your TV breaking and you gotta hand spin that VHS tape back. Hell yeah, Johnny. I still have cassette tapes. I did somewhere. They're probably long gone now. Because to be honest, I probably just threw them out. All right, we got the Asia Open. Let's see what it brings. We did get a little bit of a spike higher. Above the hourly. Ever so slight. But it's a little bit of a spike higher. Like we talked about though, chat. Remember exactly what we were looking for thus far. If I wanted to take any type of trade, when NQ hits high of day, ES should what? Hit the open. If we end up getting a bit of a pullback, we'll see how ES reacts to this like 26, 25 area. So far, both of those have hit perfectly. And we'll see if we get more of a pullback off of that or if they just rip. But this is kind of where I want to see more of a consolidation. And if we just push to ES new high of day, that would suck. What up, Ali? How you doing? Also got it for 1,200 and it was 2K, so hard to pass up. Hell yeah, Polar Bear. Mitch would probably love hearing that because Mitch is all about audio equipment. With that floppy disk in, hell yeah. Yeah, Polar Bear, if you're taking 12K in payouts, and the biggest thing isn't even just what you've taken in payouts, it's how you're doing financially, you know? Appreciate you, Ollie. But that's the craziest thing for me. When I get bigger payouts, like this week, I've done well. People will ask, like, what are you going to do with it? What are you going to buy with it? I'm going to buy groceries. Probably some supplements. And nothing else. Not a damn thing I'm interested in spending money on. I don't know why, dude. I am so cheap outside of my trading setup and trading in general. Pay some bills. Agreed. Today's trade paid 2 months of bills for me. I'm vibing. I could not trade for a month and I'll be cool. I'll pay my bills still yet. Almost filled that gap on NQ. Yep. Polar Bear flexing his job. Don't live above your means, smart. Yeah, I mean, Miguel, I don't want anything crazy. I'm not materialistic. I don't care about much. Lambo, the only thing, I didn't actively open any positions today. All I did was close an Nvidia swing from yesterday. This is the only action I took since yesterday's stream. You had your long trim back on another 40 points. Hell yeah. Brief summary, why did I take the video? I'll get rid of the... Actually, no, I'm going to leave those in case the move actually happens tomorrow. Polar Bear. This entire week, there's been 2 sectors we've been focused on and talking about. Starting the week, we talked about gold. Y'all can look back on any stream this week. I have said one fact about gold. If gold gets buying pressure this week, it will likely make an aggressive move. Safe to say that thesis has worked a little bit, right? Biggest move on gold we've had since early July. Not bad. But the other sector we've been paying attention to is semiconductors. Why? Because we started looking, I think it was Sunday or Monday. You guys got me looking at these. MU overall within this volatile range, getting a little bit of buying pressure. AMD on Monday into Tuesday, we talked after this candle. With this candle's close, if we were able to get above 520s, we could easily see 550s very quickly. We saw that the next day. If I'm looking at the overall sector and the overall sector is more bullish, one of my favorite things to do, especially on, honestly, primarily semiconductors, is trade the rotations between the names. Most of the time, if a sector's ripping, showing strength, the entire sector slowly picks up. What semiconductors really like to do, or at least like to do in the past, before MU got big, was you would see AMD push. Then you would see NVIDIA push. Then you would see Qualcomm push. It would be day by day by day. And you could easily trade those each day. But looking at NVIDIA, fairly strong daily support down here around this like 202, 205-ish. If we got any buying pressure at all, 215s looked immediate. So I was willing to take that trade into it. So I was just taking the overall thesis that we continue to hold 205s when I got this entry yesterday with a stop below 202s. To be honest, my stop, 202s, with the overall expiration, probably would have been 80% to zero on the trade, which I was willing to risk. We got the initial move. We got the exact move I want. Now we'd be looking for that 2-day continuation aspect, right? Where if we get above 215s, I think NVIDIA can easily get legs. We talked about this earlier in stream. Every single time we break this resistance, we have ripped 4% immediately the next day. If we get this break and we are sitting at around 215s tomorrow, I will likely put risk onto it because NVIDIA loves to make these 2-day moves. And if you guys have seen my trades on NVIDIA this year, like NVIDIA is the number one paying asset that I've traded the entire year. I love like usually you'll get a big move and then the next day or the following day. So either Thursday or Friday, there's a high probability you get another leg in that. So I'll be watching that throughout the rest of the week as well. If there's any move I put risk on, it would probably be that and only that. I'm very bad at holding trades. Sager, you can do what I did where I forgot what expiration I had. I didn't open the stock market till like 11-ish today. Because I got a notification on Robinhood, because my thesis was let NVIDIA run until Friday. I got a notification on Robinhood saying, hey, your shit expires today. So I was like, oh, should probably check on that because it's probably not doing well. Checked on it, was up $4,800, closed it, called it a day. But no, with options, I like to set alerts. Polar Bread, those are, I think I've had 3 or 4 NVIDIA trades this year. The last one, which obviously we talked about religiously on stream, stalking it, was 2,000%. This one was 750. And it was 750 from entry to exit. I took all profits at the same spot. But NVIDIA moves, especially when you're looking, like I talked about earlier. You guys heard me. If this next leg happens, if this does happen on NVIDIA, and this is when I look at options for risk to reward and returns, I focus heavily on the options contract. Right now, 220s are priced in at 50 cents. 50. If we get part of this, if we get up here, that's 1,000% return immediately. 50 cents to 224, which would be minimum $4 intrinsic value plus, depending on if it hits Thursday or Friday, you have an extrinsic value still priced in. I mean, it's well worth the risk to reward. Would I be willing to throw $500 on this if we open up here tomorrow or look like it's going to break into Friday for a potential return of a couple thousand? Always. Which day do you usually pick? I usually do closer on NVIDIA, like just a few days out, usually weeklies. The first trade for me was 0 days on a Friday. The second trade, which was this one, was 1 day to expiration. EMA, ignore the EMAs. We're deleting those as well here. Now we should have no charts with EMAs. No EMAs. I don't care about the EMAs. I was willing to buy because structure. If we look into this, we got a bigger pullback. I was more bullish on the indices throughout a decent part of this week. I sat through a lot of chop. I mean, a lot. Yesterday, I looked at this chart almost most of the day, and it did absolutely nothing. But I knew the risk on it. And then today, obviously, it gapped lower, got that strong buying pressure. But for me, it's just looking to get the acceptance above 205. We never broke back below 205. And then my stop was going to be around like 202.50s, which obviously, if that hit today, would have been zero. Appreciate you, Polar Bear. But it's also looking at the sectors. You look at other names, like you look at AMD. AMD is decently strong right now. You look at MU's strong and even gapping up overnight. Like the conviction's there on this sector for continuation. And if the market's going to go higher, it's likely going to be fueled by one sector right now, and that's semiconductors. So if they keep pushing, I'm going to trade. NVIDIA is by far, I trade very few options names. NVIDIA is by far one of my favorite to trade. Gonna miss you, EMA. Yeah, Ollie, they're gone forever. To be fair, I liked having them on my chart, even just to have them there, and I never use them. But dude, it was 3 times a stream we were getting asked, how do I trade EMAs? Play with options, I usually don't care about holding. And the biggest thing I'll do, and the nicest part about it, even though I'm really, really good at math, so I always do the math for intrinsic value once we get over level. But as I'm looking at this chart, I'll close my options broker and I just won't open it. I'll set an alert on the chart for either the entry or the exit or a trim or a stop loss and just close everything. I truly do not care. By the way, chat, nice trade for those of you holding longs. Hopefully those of you that were shorting didn't get hit too hard. My dumbass holds for hope. NY Cleve, why do you think 0 days are some of my worst performing options that I've ever done? Rain, I'm in, brother. I'll put you as the whole background. I don't have a farm, Polar Bear. But no, because here's what I'm looking at. And gold's a good example. When I took that gold trade, because this will show you, I still make mistakes. I still fuck up my trades at times. With gold, I loved the broader hold of these lows on the daily chart. I knew if we held that, we could easily see more conviction. I focused too much on GC alone, not just this. I closed damn near down here with my spreads. Had absolutely zero conviction to close this with a daily inside bar, but I was over-analyzing the chart and over-complicating it. If I did what I did on NVIDIA and just didn't look at it or didn't care, because I was willing to risk that full position. I had the exact same amount of risk as NVIDIA. And I posted this gold, I posted in the Discord. So I hope maybe someone held it, but I had the 375, 380 debit spreads for 0.75 risk. Well, if you do the math, if it got to 82, these were likely 470. So 75 cents to $4.70 per contract if I just didn't overanalyze the chart and get out of the position early. Hell yeah, Alan. Hope it works, brother. But no, I feel like those trades, like too many people look at options trades and think that like a couple 100% is insane. I truly don't think it is. And that just showed it. If just this week alone, if you only focused on gold and NVIDIA, there were 2 trades that were over 500% return. Like if you're just patient, wait for a setup and look for options contracts that seem drastically mispriced for the move you can get, that is when I want to be in a trade. Even if it may not be the absolute strongest setup in the world, if I can find something where the options price does not make sense for the overall ATR of that current move, it's dumb to not take something like that. As long as you have some conviction that the move can happen. You ever traded SPX? Ollie, right now I think SPX either gives me all the money in the world or takes everything I've ever loved. There's no in between on SPX for me. And what's crazy is my best SPX trades are after like 3 p.m. I've had so many SPX trades go from 50 cents to $9. And I've had so many go from $6 a contract to $1. Yeah, I don't trade SPX as much, mainly just because I like to buy more than one contract. If I'm buying SPX, I'm going to buy closer to the money, and those are like $5+ a piece, depending on time of day. So I'm usually just trading SPY. Yeah, dude, SPX is brutal. BL trades, get back into them. I love options. There will always be a time for options for me, wholeheartedly. Since I started watching Mastermind and learning the trade futures prop, it has saved me from holding. Is that a good or bad thing, Cleve? Like saved you from holding? Like holding too long, you mean? Caught my fish for the day on the MES long. Thanks for the added confluence. Appreciate you, Toasted. I mean, yeah, does it suck that I'm not currently in a trade at the moment? Yeah, chat numbers are definitely going to reflect that. We pulled back a little bit in chat numbers because I've been yapping about options while the market's moving. But I'm going to wait for conviction. Whether that leaves me cash for basically the third fucking day in a row, or we get some type of entry, it is what it is. But it's a good example too. One, I know I give you guys a lot of conviction, just me doing analysis. Craziest thing is a lot of these streams where I don't trade are more beneficial if you actually listen versus the ones where I'm making money on them. But I've had a bunch of DMs the past few days of just you guys getting enough conviction to take trades off me talking about it and holding two bigger targets. I'm gonna take my next prop payout and eat it into 0DT SPX. I mean, BL trades, if you're talking risk to reward, you're either, if you look at it, you're paying what, $100? Worst case, you walk away, or best case, you walk away with 10 grand. That's a deal. Like Mama said, SPX is the devil. Wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly the absolute devil. Yeah, Ali, if you just trade SPX alongside ES, it's great. What I do when I do that too is I will trim my futures contracts and just let options run. Cleve, I love to hear that, brother. I'm glad the mastermind's helping you with that and making you not stay in trades too long. I mean, this would be like higher risk. You do have a decent resistance there, but at this point, I fully expect us to break it. Chad, now you guys kind of see, while we were down here, I said we were kind of looking a little bit like Monday and why I lost conviction in shorts. Even up here, a lot of people said they were getting into shorts. I didn't love the idea, and you can see kind of why. What is going on? We're going up, brother. Ever since we broke this high at 23s, buyers are in full control of this. Whatever you do, do not let yourself be blindly trying to short this chart over and over and over. You will get smoked. Discord is... It's Jake's Discord, obviously. But that link right there in code STREAM, STREAM, will give you 50% off if you're actually interested in it. Someone gave the market the blue pill. Yeah, I mean, I feel like once we ended up getting, like we talked about it, when we got this 15-minute close on NQ, I had zero interest in shorting this. Unless what happened? Unless we got this hourly close, we got bought back above, and we slammed back lower for a failure. Anything other than that, I would not have been interested in shorts personally. Now, am I saying your short ideas in general, chat, were wrong? No, not at all. I started out the session majority bearish. But you kind of have to adapt quick in this kind of market. Yeah, Warlord, that's the way to do it though, right? You have a broader bearish thesis and you're waiting for that conviction to take something, right? That's how you should do it. Even if you're like a scalper, give some type of conviction, just even off multi-time frame, to get yourself in a trade. Outside of that, this market will cook you if you just stab short or stab long. I'm bullish now. Now you are, right, guy? Look at that. Once we finally broke above the open, the pole finally flipped bullish. What up, King of the West? How you doing? This 5-minute BS on gold valid. Gold looks like shit. Every time I look at gold, it's either just a heavy consolidation or something like this. Obviously, unless you're looking at this day where we watch gold and then watch it just go parabolic. But we forget about those days. Dollar's weak. Oil's chilling stagnant so far. Gold's chilling stagnant. Indices, I would expect them to pull back at some point, for sure. For sure. But if we do get above 35, we have room right into 50s. We do. If we get in above 50s, high of day. If this rips from down here to here, held support, moving into resistance. Not a crazy move. Especially when you look at the daily chart. Daily inside bar, what are we doing? We're just currently inside that daily candle. What was the big spike on gold at the open? I don't know. I don't know. Chat said that happened within like 30 seconds. I have no clue what that actually was. Could have just been a big bidder right at the open. Bring in some extreme volume. Yeah, I mean, look at these 4 hours. If we hold these for the next hour and a half, this is an aggressive chart. I mean, bummed I didn't take something, especially when we drew this here, but obviously it was already pushing. Risk reward wasn't as good there. Nice moves, nice potential. I know some of you guys got longs, but I know some of you guys did take shorts as well. Chat, by the way, we were just a little over halfway to the giveaway. We were a little over halfway through the stream. So if y'all want a giveaway, you're gonna have to give a thumbs up. Diana, I expect nothing less. Especially back from the Discord days. I expect absolutely nothing less. Warlord, what do you mean it looks weak? In from 29,037. Damn. Up a little 160 points. Not too shabby. Enter long at 515. Penstar, did we even get 515s? We didn't even get 515. How are you long at 515? We didn't even get down there. Did MES? No, MES didn't even get down there. 516. Caught you. Caught you lying. Either way, I mean, 516 is crazy. Insane. Did talk about in the beginning, if that held, there's potential. Unfortunately, just not capitalizing well on this session this week. But nice part is still green on the session. Oh, you're talking to Fitz. Chat, how many of you guys are long on this? How many of you guys are crushing it? Because just by looking at chat, a lot of you guys that are talking are long. On track for four payouts this week. One more day of about 1K each account. Diana, can I borrow a few accounts? You want to give me a couple? I'll treat them real nice for you. Real nice. Chat, I might have just got the greatest compliment I've ever gotten. And usually I don't reply to Instagram on stream, but my grandma DM'd me. She followed me and said my trading setup looks nice. Might be the best compliment I've ever gotten. Everyone else replies and says, dude, your wire management's ass. I got killed waiting for the long entry. Elder, you and me both. I wanted one main thing, and we didn't get it all the way. We wanted this, and then we wanted this. Instead, we got this. And sometimes it just be a bitch. Grandma, my grandma's a sweetheart. I got absolutely destroyed, but not really because of risk management. Aman, that's why I said if people are shorting, because I know you were the ones that were shorting. If you wanted to, just make sure that risk is in check, because this is a market that will crush you if we keep going. No, 8 trades, I'm not. Nothing against them. I usually just don't use newer prop firms. Do you usually trade the Asia session open? Kings of the West, it depends if I like conviction on it. I have no problem taking a trade before stream, but 90% of the time, that first hour before stream sucks ass. It does. So for me, I'm not going to be overly eager to trade it. I'd rather just wait for stream. Because I know a lot of the better conviction comes from the like 8:15 to 8:40-ish time slot. So I usually just wait for that. Unless obviously I find something sooner. Warlord, wasn't IBM the reason that semiconductors just ripped 2-3 days ago? Or was that TSM? Someone said something about they're increasing the price of chips. Chips. Like 10% next year. What would you say are your main strategies, Kings? I mainly just have one strategy. And like everybody else's strategy, it comes with intuition as well. But with futures, it's just trading multi-time frame analysis, looking at the overall divergences between the indices, between other assets. What do I think could truly happen? I came out the gate wanting to short this because, one, it looked weak in general. We were consolidating at the lows, but then I started to look at it more with NQ failing to go lower. There's a big divergence there. That if NQ gets enough buying pressure, the market's going to push. So I wasn't willing to short that at the time, which left me cash. Because if I was leaning more so bearish, I would have to flip pretty aggressively bullish pretty quickly. Where I was mainly just waiting at that point, give me the hourly close. Let me make sure the conviction is actually invalid, which happened. But it's just multi-time frame analysis across a bunch of different assets, looking for conviction, confluence, divergences, whatever it may be for my trades. Best strategy is Zincan flip. I mean, to be fair, that strategy is like 5 for 6. Sniped MQ longs at 29.029 on 20 micros. Brother, you are crushing it. But yeah, that's like the broader aspect of my strategy. Is there a lot of intuition that goes into it as well? Yes. Am I absolutely perfect all the time with it? No, not at all. That is exactly what I look at, Kings. That's where I get a majority of my conviction. This is the chart I mainly trade when I'm trading futures off stream. This will be on the 4 hour. But the 4 hour, hourly, 15, and 5. Just using the conviction between those. Right now on stream, I look at this chart and this chart to show me what the different indices are doing. But like if NQ had not broken that low and already showed us that sellers weren't able to keep us lower, which exact same thing as Monday, right? Then we ended up getting that push higher once we got back above the open and got the hourly close. Where NQ closed like this, I have absolutely zero interest in shorting this. I would rather be overly patient if I'm going to short. Now I don't want to short, no matter what. If shorts end up playing out later, so be it. I'm not overly interested in shorting this movement. Do I think we could use a pullback? Yes. But I mainly wanted that pullback here. I wanted the open, wanted a retest of this little support here, and then we go. Fortunately, about 3.5 points off of that pullback, so I'm sitting cash. But there are times, and I'll be on stream and I'll say today's a day I'm willing to be a little more aggressive. What's the initial balance, brother? But there'll be days where I'm like, all right, I'm going to be more aggressive and I'm willing to do it, take a few stabs, whatever it may be, because I think there's high conviction of this kind of move happening. And then there's days like this where I'm going to build a trade plan. If that plan works, let's ride. If it doesn't, I most likely sit cash, at least until I like something else. And does that likely suck for overall stream? 100%. Would you grab a pullback trade at the pivot? Ali, which pivot? Hey, NY Cleve, not to shake my head, because if you think about it, that trade was already limited to the consistency reasons. So what did you do? You just maxed that bitch out. So that is quite literally, if you look at it that way, that is the best case scenario you could possibly have on that trade, is you hit your consistency target. So nice job. Oh, it's a great problem to have. That is straight up my steak's way too buttery. Or like, hey, my private chef made my food 10 minutes too late today, you know? Carlos, I'm not going to lie. I usually read names before I reply, and I almost just read it right out the top until I realized who it was. It was a 5-point difference. It's not a 5-point difference. MES is 41. ES is 41. They're the exact same, brother. This is the exact same chart. This is ES, this is MES. I think whatever you got's going on is bugging. Yeah, I'll double check something. Watch him have extended hours off. Because if he has extended hours off, ES will be at like 544 and MES will be at 41. So he thinks there's a difference. Watch it be something that simple. I remember the other day when you were talking about trading crypto in the past, what made you switch over to NQES? Wait, King, you're asking what made me switch over to NQ and ES from crypto? Because if so, I got smacked in crypto. Absolutely just RKO'd and buried in crypto. When I traded crypto, I was trading leverage crypto for the most part. 25x, sometimes little 50x. I did use to trade crypto. I had VPN subscriptions annually to be able to trade leverage crypto. I was a straight degenerate. And then I finally stopped trading leverage crypto. I was like, you know what? Crypto could work. I put a bunch of money, like 13 grand at the time, into crypto for long term. By the way, all the leverage crypto, I would make thousands of dollars and then lose every single penny of it. And you guys thought my sleep now is bad at times. I would not sleep. I would be up till 5 a.m, leverage trading crypto on 25 to 50x. Or I would go to bed and I would wake up randomly at 3 a.m. panicking, wondering if I got full liquidated. It was miserable. But I got the bright idea of, I'm going to long-term trade crypto. Because, it's going to go up. Everyone's bullish on it. It's a great thing to buy. I had the basics like Bitcoin, Ethereum, I think Sol, and then a little bit of Doge just for the memes. All of that was in Voyager. Voyager closed its doors, locked the entire thing down, 13 grand gone like that. Fuck crypto. I have never had a good experience other than chasing Elon Doge tweets with crypto. Not a single one. So no, that is why I no longer trade crypto. So many people, a lot of it. I mean, especially when you get into the meme coins, all that stuff. Kings of the West, it's not bad. I got some of it back. I'm not too worried about it. It's in the past. It's like the first year and a half of losses I had. That money's gone. Ain't shit I can do. Did you ever get any NFTs? Yes. Yes, I did. Yeah, I was in it. Wasn't bad though. It wasn't as bad. But NFT experience, yes. Now mind you, did I own them? Yes. But don't judge me first, because I was also that person taking screenshots of cool NFTs, because now I own that bitch. I did it more so for just like the fun of it. I had bought some random NFT for like $500, sold it for like $2,200 within a week. So I was like, this is awesome. And then some influencers, I will not name them because they don't deserve any flack or whatever. Plus I actually know them decently. We're posting about these little NFTs. They were like $200 a piece. And they're like, yeah, these are going to go phenomenal. It was like $200 to $700, somewhere around there. Bought a couple, never heard about it again. Guarantee you I still own those, and they're probably absolutely zero. So basically break even, maybe slight red on that whole endeavor. But I can tell you, I never bought like anything over a couple $100, because I ain't buying a random picture of a monkey for $100,000. Like, Leap, I know exactly the crypto or the NFT you're talking about, and talk about just rug pulling your fans, dude. Talk about just straight rug pull. BL traits, and I know some people will agree with me on this, but some people will be like, nah, dude, it's just the way it works. One of my hardest things about people who long trade crypto, like long-term trade. When Bitcoin, first off, they're delusional. Not all of them, but it's crypto to me. It's not, it's bad. ICT is not as bad as it, but I feel like they have the same rapport to me, where the people who know how to trade it and trade it well are phenomenal. But the ones who are just aggressively loud and delusional make it so much more miserable for everybody else. And you guys, like, it works with any strategy, right? Any strategy, like trend line. People who overhype trend lines say they're the only thing that ever works. That annoys the hell out of people. But for me, it's with this. When I posted analysis, because I used to do a Bitcoin breakdown every day when I was in the Discord live streaming. I posted that down here, I see very little hope in Bitcoin, and it's likely going to see a lot lower, possibly 72s. My DMs exploded with people telling me it will never even break below 85 and that I was dumb as shit. And I was like, all right, okay. And then it went down here and, but the only qualm I have, and I just don't fully understand, is when it's up here at like 120s, and you will see a mass majority of people who own a lot of Bitcoin say Bitcoin could go down to 50,000 or 35,000. And they're going to average on the way down. Like, they clear as day say, there's no room for this thing to go higher. It's going to cycle. It's going to sell off 50%. But I'm holding the entire thing. For me, it just doesn't make sense. Why not sell it if you genuinely, truly believe it's not going to go higher? Sell it. Buy it where you think it's going to pull back to. And then when it goes back to the price you had, you doubled your money. Like, that's just something I cannot get my brain behind. Because I've had so many people tell me that they kept buying all the way up. It was never going to go over like 120, 130, whatever it may be. And then start saying it's going to go to $35,000 or $50,000. My immediate brain goes, sell that bitch, collect the cash, pay your taxes, whatever, and then use the money to buy more. And I know this overall stream tangent is going off a cliff, and it just be like that. IQ under 75. So is Google pushing right now? Google's still red, which is interesting. Nah, King of the West. I have no problem being sidetracked. Chat might have a problem with me being sidetracked. But those of you that don't care will stay. Those of you that do care will leave. We've talked about everything. And people will leave during certain conversations. It is what it is. I don't care. Majority of the time, obviously, it helps if I'm currently in a trade, either making or losing money. But that's not happening because we're not fucking pulling back for me to get in. Google's very interesting here. If we hold this prior all-time highs, look for, if we get a slight gap down tomorrow, look for the buying back below the lows of today. Buy down, look for a move back over 340s for a little post-ER kind of move. If Jake trades options, it'd be something he'd be interested in for sure. It does help time. Because if you think about it, for those of you that love just being on to be on, if you guys don't ask random questions when we're not in a position, I'm either just looking at charts, talking about random price action, or we are sitting here and I'm trying to get you guys to say something. So that way we can have a good conversation. Semis will rip, I think. Warlord, I am, like I said, tomorrow, if NVIDIA gets over 215 or around 215, and to be honest, I might just do it anyway. Take $500, $600 of my profits from today, throw them in an NVIDIA trade. If it works like I think it can, double my profits from today, and then call it a week. I'm the urge to do that for me is aggressively high looking at that chart. Which, to be fair, when you're on a heater in options, and I wouldn't, like, it's obviously one trade, but when I look back at gold, if I held that trade, that would have been an absolute heater as well. And I would have had an easy 5-figure week. But when you're on a heater with options, you got to heat check yourself, right? So I think a valid heat check after this kind of trade is just, we get over this, do a little heat check, throw a little lotto on. Not even lotto, like all the convictions there, and I kind of hate the term lotto, but a high risk trade. I think it's worth it. So you're saying there's a chance? Ollie, there's always a chance. If, like Warlord, I genuinely really like NVIDIA for longs, like longer term longs as well. Yeah, Zay. And this is, chat, by the way, when I say, if I post a trade in the Discord, it's a losing trade. And if I don't, it's the greatest trade in history. I posted gold in the Discord. Lost like 15, 20%. Did not post NVIDIA. 700% on first exit. I can't beat the allegations. Genuinely can't. That's a struggle that I cannot get over with the Discord. But it just be like that. Net 281 or 300. Yeah. I mean, even this week, if NVIDIA wants to break, like, give me something like this right here. Actually, where's a better pullback? No, that's more aggressive. But like this. Reversal, consolidation, reversal. Reversal, second reversal. Like, it's just give me that 2-day trend or 3-day trend on NVIDIA. If we just get 4%, which isn't crazy on NVIDIA. These contracts are priced in to where NVIDIA shouldn't even get to 220. You're telling me in the next 2 days with NVIDIA's daily chart looking like this, it can't go up $5 or 2%? It goes up 2%. Those contracts are at the money. It doubles today's price. You're doing well. Yeah, Zay, it was a nice day. Now, mind you, if NVIDIA opens at 215 and just goes straight to the gulag, it's not on me. That is not on me. Chat, I didn't even realize you guys have actually been slamming the likes, and you're only 29 away. So no matter what, I'll cut you a deal. I'll wait till the likes get up. I won't end stream at 9, even though I don't see an entry here because we, once again, have not gotten a single fucking 15-minute pullback for me to get in. Not a one. But, and that sucks. It really, like, I feel like this week on this stream, we've gotten wonderful price action. But I just haven't entered. Because a lot of the entries would have had to have been more aggressive, like this. Kind of like Sundays. Sundays was definitely more aggressive, but it worked. If I was more aggressive Monday, would have been flawless. If I was more aggressive today, would have been flawless. I just wasn't those days. And it'd be like that. But I'll stay around until you guys can at least get that number. Where's the pullback? I want to get it on ES. Alan, the hard part is, I talked about if we get a move, I would want to see 550s, but hear me out. If we get more so this, give me 548, 550s. Give me 2 hours of this, and then give me this. I'll trade that. I'll stay up, trade this. But at the same time, I kind of hope we don't rip too hard because I don't want NVIDIA to gap up 2% tomorrow. I want to get a cheeky entry at 215s. Yeah, right guy. That's when same day stock futures. Ollie, could be yes. The only thing though is I feel like if I want to trade individual stock futures, and like, correct me if this doesn't make sense, but I feel like that's something I'd want to trade on a personal account. Tell me what my overnight margins in are. I'll make sure I put maybe like double that to trade NVIDIA. And then on a day like today, I would just buy NVIDIA, throw a stop on, and then just play that for tomorrow. At the same time, though, there's no better risk to reward than a miscalculated options contract. Like the 220s for NVIDIA, big if, massive if that move happens. Found a new superstition. After placing a trade, I leave my desk, watch my trade from my bed while wiggling my toes. So far, I am 1 for 1. I don't know what to say about that. I get like this sitting back so you can't overly execute. Sure. But why are you out here wiggling the dogs, my guy? Why are you just sitting there wiggling the little piggies, watching your trade? Honestly, Kyle, not bad. Not bad. Either way you win, right? Get your bag, king. It's a nervous tick. Come on, that's what nicotine's for. It solves all problems. Facial expression is saying that's a lot to digest. It is a lot to digest. I mean, to each their own, but check out the 15-minute time frame, Fibonacci retracement. I mean, where are you pulling the fib from, though? Like that? Or like that? Or like that? I don't know exactly where you're pulling the fib from, is my problem. Or you pull in like this. XP, don't say that. We don't want it to flash dump. We just want it to have a little bit of a pullback. Will I be looking for the NQ to pull back to? Well, right now, I don't know shit about anything because I wanted the NQ to pull back to the open. NQ closed 30 points above the open, saw a 5-point pullback, and then ripped 120 points. So what I want at this point is, I mean, I want ES to get to 550s. But at the same time, if we're looking at like 4-hour charts, this is a very hard chart to be overly bearish on. Is structurally more bearish? Yes, but we're trying to set 4-hour higher lows. And if those set, we look to break 560s tomorrow. And think about it. If this plays out on the video and the other semiconductors, this likely breaks 560. We got a lot of room. We do. We go back up to, imagine 76.30s to end the week, just 2 days straight bullish. I'd be here for it. For now, though, I would want ES 35s. So give me a pullback, a little more aggressive, 9 points-ish down to 75.35. Watch how we react there. That same area on NQ would likely be like 170s, 180s. Does it have to get there? No. It's already proven it doesn't have to pull back. Bears aren't doing a damn thing in this current price action. You'd expect them to step in a little bit more here, but every time we hold these broader lows, we just rip and we don't look back. What up, Niles? How you doing? Appreciate you, brother. It means a lot. Mr. Fitz, you said yes there, and I drew like 9 different fibs. I don't know which one. By the way, chat, I really do appreciate you guys just sitting on vibing, even though we didn't get the exact entry I wanted. At least I know some of you guys are just have me on in the background and you're ripping longs. Congratulations, you're rich. Couldn't ask for much more on the day. Aman, you already knew, you know what to do, brother. You have a 100% win rate so far. When you enter a trade, sit on your bed and wiggle your piggies. This thing is ripping, it is. And if we get over 550, I fully expect if we get strong conviction over 550, we're going straight to 64s. We're going to go straight up to high day. And if we get to high of day, this is a daily 3-bar play. This on NQ is a daily 3-bar play. Trend, consolidation, trend. Now, mind you, if you remember yesterday's, some of you will remember, some of you probably didn't listen. But if you remember yesterday's stream, the number one thing we wanted on the indices on the daily chart was a smaller daily consolidation. ES is obviously a little more aggressive. NQ, not bad. Why? Because we talked about it. If we get that smaller consolidation and we break it, we have room to 76.30s. NQ has room to that 30,050 area. Am I saying we get there today? No. Could we? Yes. Could we get there Friday? Of course. Does it make me definitely more bullish on current structure? 100%. Unbelievable. Such a scam. Rip it straight up. No pullbacks. HP, that's the thing, dude. Just give me one pullback. With this move, and some people will be like, why are you not in a trade? And I'm not saying you guys are asking that, but some people might be thinking it. Why am I not in a trade? We have had 18 5-minute bars, one of which was red. One. That's a bitch to enter on. Wholeheartedly. Just buy it right now and let it rock. Ollie, to be fair, like, that would have worked this entire session. Imagine, though, I wait this entire stream. I wait 2 hours. And I buy right here, and it just straight dumps. Pretty sure chat would riot. Lies, that's a blue bar. All right, Vish. You know, it's irritating because you're not wrong. I might do a Lamelli and buy the FVG pullbacks. AXP, you're a changed man. You talk about the turtle soup. You talked so much about the turtle soup, and now you're becoming the turtle soup. You are becoming the ICT. We're losing him, chat. Nice, Warlord. XP lived long enough to become the villain. XP says he's going to trade ICT and then absolutely shit talks ICT. Zay, ideal pullback would be close this hourly, give me this structure close, and then give me a pullback. If we get 35, I'm interested, but it highly depends on what the 15-minute structure looks like at that point. Highly depends on it. But if we can get a strong hourly close here, why do I want the close? That way we don't get an upper wick on it. Give me the strong candle. Start building that consolidation here. But the problem is now entries aren't going to have as much conviction because if we get a pullback, I'd want a more aggressive. I don't want anywhere near the open or the lows, but I would love this like 35 to 37s. If not, look at the hourly. Build me a base right here. Build me this little consolidation. Worst case, pull it down to 40s. Range in here for the next hour. Give me a strong 4-hour close. Look for the rip past 10 p.m. That is what I'd be overly interested in. Problem for me is here, you just can't enter. Now, mind you, Chad, if I trade off of my current strategy and the way I look, I like to have stops slightly below the recent low. If I took anything, I'm not going to, but if I took anything here, my stop based off of my structure would have to be here. That's the recent low for me, even looking at this 5-minute. So if anyone's wondering why I'm not currently trading, that is why. Chad, I think Miss K needs to go to timeout. I think Miss K needs to be cut off. Social media deleted for a day and just straight into timeout. What up, Gael? Rolling up 85 points from the open on NQ. I think it's slow up grind tonight. Maybe a quick pullback if we get lucky. Yeah, Warlord. At this point, it 100% looks like it. Brett, what's MDD? Let me start to open Streamlabs, which you guys know what that means, but we're not there yet. We are close. We are very close. Dude, none of these streamers like to end their fucking giveaways. Every time I open stream, no matter what time it is, there's a giveaway open. Max drawdown. Sorry to hear that, brother. It's running because I didn't tell you when I was trading today. Well, Cleve, what the hell? Do the Bears know this market is open? I don't think so. Well, some do because some tried to short earlier, but no, not at all. Yeah, it sucks ass you hit max drawdown. If it's going to happen, this kind of market I expected in, where people might be chasing, people might be trying to short for a pullback, which I know some people were. I get it if you want a pullback, but to be honest, even though I want a bigger pullback into 35, I'm not interested in shorting anything like this. Unless there's some type of structure, maybe gamma, and you want a broader, higher time frame pullback, cool. For me, I'd rather just be patient, wait till some conviction sets up, and then let it rip. Because a lot of the moves during this session have been pull back into support and then face rip and never look back. Let's bet on Gael winning the giveaway. Fine, Vish. If Gael wins the giveaway, he gets the giveaway account. But if he doesn't, you can no longer win giveaways. You like that trade? AXP, you're talking about the break above it. If I win, you give away 2 more. 2 more. Honestly, Vish, if you're talking standards, the greatest person to bet on is going to be Ali. I tried to prove the giveaways were not rigged, and he won. Most Fab, I didn't start it yet. Y'all haven't gotten the limit yet. I told you, we being strict for it. It is what it is. Now, mind you, I'll wait around a couple minutes for it to happen. I'm not just going to be like, damn, guys, 144 sucks. See you tomorrow. We'll wait a minute. Gold ripping. Marks. Me and you might have different perspectives of ripping, my guy. Might have different perspectives of ripping. It is moving. She's grinding. If you ignore this wick, I mean, it looks good. Aman says in all caps, you got your 35 pullback. My man, please. If you can show me which candle pulled back to 35. Oh, you're looking at NQ. No, I want 35 on ES. I want 35 on ES, not NQ. If you think after, mind you, if you think after NQ just ripped 260 points, my main long thesis is going to be us pulling back 30, and then I'm ready to just rip it. That is not my trading style. That is not my trading style. No, for NQ, I would need a broader pullback. Give me like 170, 180, and I'd be overly interested. Don't apologize. It's my fault. You right. Zay, why aren't you in Dell? You should have known Dell's. Dude, Dell has been in a crazy. Isn't this because. Hang on, chat. Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't this move right here just because Trump said buy Dell? And then it ripped like 30%. There was some move somewhere in this ballpark that happened because Trump just flat out said buy Dell. I don't remember exactly what move it was. Fish. The crazy part is it might work. This is the second red candle we've gotten in 20-something ES candles. That might be the pullback. We might get 4.5 points in his GGs from there. All right, chat. I need 4 of you guys. Just 4. 4 of you. To go right on 3 of you. To go right under the stream and hit the little thumbs up. Seven green, 15-minute bars. Yeah, XP, it's normal. Normal price action. Absolutely normal. I mean, look at the 2-minute chart. Valid. Nothing crazy here. Come on, stalkers, hit the like button. Yeah, I mean, XP, 2 days ago, it ripped straight up, nonstop. Yesterday did absolutely nothing. And then today, parabolic again. But makes sense for consolidation day. Lurkers unite. No way along that, not a single red candle in 15-minute chart. Yeah, Jesus. That is what I'm waiting for. If we don't get a red candle, if we don't get a pullback, I do not care what this market does. My entire aspect and thought process will be, what is tomorrow going to bring us? Yeah, the thing is though, I guarantee you, and I'm willing to bet, people likely shorted NQ at the open. People likely shorted NQ at high of day. People likely shorted NQ at the gap fill. People are likely shorting NQ up around 250, 260, which is the end of day high. Every single person who's done that has gotten steamrolled. So that's why I'm not really interested in shorts. I'd rather wait till I have some decent conviction. The 15-minute failure to go, you mean 15-minute failure to go higher. But yeah, I get you. Me, Brett, I mean, some days it'd be like that, brother. Some days it'd be like that. Kyle, gold's being POS today. Chat, by the way, normally I warn you first. It's open. Before Streambot freaks out, let me follow up on everything. This is my beaver age. You're probably trying to catch. Yeah, AXP, that's probably my thesis as well if I trade tonight. I'm more interested tomorrow. I got worked, bro. Brett, I see that, brother. But at the same time, and I'm not calling you out for this or anything, I'm saying when people were short here, Daily Dose, you spelled it wrong. When people were trying to short around here, I needed more conviction. I get that. But that's also why, like, this can be very easy because I used to do what you just did. Wholeheartedly. I used to lose my ass on days like this because I'd be like, dude, this has to pull back. See this 5-minute candle, short immediately. This has to pull back, stopped out. See this little 5-minute, this one's it. Short it, has to stop, has to pull back, stopped out. When now, I just sit here and watch. Just because it's not worth it. Yo, what's up? Hope you're doing good. New here, not gonna lie. This stream is pretty chill. Can actually concentrate on my trades. Might want to update the pic though. I thought you were someone else. Yeah, Momo. That the picture is rake trades, and we all use that picture. Do we need to get individual shots for streams? Yes, but right now we all just use that same one. Wait till you get the wake up call of the London session. You're going to hop on that stream and be like, hold up, this guy is Asian. That doesn't look like him at all. But no, that's like this is Jake's channel. We currently just use those covers. We just need to make some ourselves. Excuse me, Gael? Hey, I'm just saying, I'm not the one who said I belong there on any given day. Just saying. Yeah, Momo, that's rake trades. I'm Ron G trades. It should be in the top of my stream somewhere. But yeah, there's 5 of us on this channel that all stream different time slots. For those of you that don't know, I stream Asia, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern, sometimes a little later. Azang streams 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern. Also, let me zoom up a little bit so that way I don't miss that message. All right, Kyle. Eat a dick. Alan streams 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern. Jake streams 8:30 in the morning to 11:30 at the New York Open. Mitch is 12:30 to 1:30. Lamelli is 1:30 to like 3:30-ish. So there's 5 of us that stream on here. You know what? Not gonna lie, I just need one more winning day for a $7,000 payout. It's like I'm looking too hard. Hey, Zeus. Greatest thing is that payout's already there. Just don't chase it. Check. Time's up. How many entries did we get? 90. Not bad. Solid number on it. Okay, there's a bunch of people. Don't ban me. I ain't banning you. Who else am I going to talk shit with football on? All right, there's a bunch of people. All right, Chad, you get 30 seconds. Just because I see a bunch of people typing it. You might be double typing it. Whatever. Not even joking. 30 seconds. When this says 15, this shit's closed. And you guys lose 3 seconds because of the stream delay. So far, the best channel I've been on. Appreciate it, brother. It means a lot. I mean, my biggest thing is you won't see me overhype things because I want to be transparent. I want to trade the way I trade. And I don't, if I'm trading by myself, I'm not going to freak out over a winning trade, even if it's something like 10R. That's awesome. It is. But If so, if I freak out for winning trades, I better lose my shit for losing trades because you got to keep it the same way. All right, chat, 30 seconds is up. If you didn't get in, unfortunate. 5 more you were able to get in. Big winner. Augie ICT. Are you here? No more spam in chat. We never shook on our deal. Gael, what deal? You got to remind me about it. Augie, have you won before? The Turtle Soup Man himself? Of course, Miss Guy. Gael won. No, he didn't. Vish, it means you can no longer win. Sorry. You know what I do love, though? Most other chats, someone will get picked for a giveaway winner. In the entire chat, he's not here. He's already won 10 times before. His name's already been picked. My chat just congratulates him the entire time. Look at this. This is what I want to see in chat. Just straight congratulations. He's not. All right, Ollie. You had to just fucking ruin the moment. You just had to ruin the moment. Or rigged. Okay. If anyone sees a rigged allegation, Augie, shoot me a DM on Instagram, by the way. Ollie already put the link in the chat. So go ahead and click that link, shoot me a DM. Let me know in chat on this stream when you DM me. All right, the entire chat's popping off. See, this is why you can't have nice things because of chat. You just can't. You have one nice thing and everybody ruins. Augie, they're trolling you, brother. Don't listen to them. If I'm talking to you, I know you're here. But I'll check no matter what. But no, chat was joking, going, "Oh my god, the giveaways are rigged," because Ollie won for like the 7th time, and we only let people win once. Your name can only get picked once. So I was like, you know what, chat? I'll prove it's not rigged. I brought the dashboard, which you guys can currently see, up. I deleted Ollie as a winner, picked another random winner, and it fucking picked him. Twice. Back to back. Out of like 120 people. So I'll never beat the rigged allegations in my life. Because I can't show that on stream anymore. Because if it picks him again, rigged. It's a lose-lose. I'm here for the guy that's not here. Yeah, Augie, shoot me a DM on Instagram real quick and let me know when you send it. No, IQ Navigator, he didn't. See, Gael, that's not a funsies I'm going to pick. Because the way I think about it, there could be someone. He deleted Ollie after the first spin. Dude, wholeheartedly. But the reason I won't do the thing and just randomly click it, because if you're someone who like really needs an account right now or really wants an account, and I pick your name, that is just a straight punch to the gut. Like imagine or if it's AXP, like AXP wants to win just for the stream bot privileges. It ends up picking his name, but it's a troll one that doesn't actually win. Then the beef just gets bigger. AXP. That's why you gotta take your phone with you. I think an NQ risky short, but now I'm in bed wiggling my toes. What now? I'm on. He needs answers, brother, if you're still here. We need to know, is he doing it correctly? Took an NQ risky short, but now I'm in bed wiggling my toes. See you tomorrow, Miss K. Wait till Break says older winners can win again. True. When he says that, it's fair game. See you later, Deb. Hell yeah, brother. I don't know exactly what you learned, but I'm beyond happy for that. Like I said, even if we're not trading, I'm going to find a way to provide value. Whether it's entertainment and just dumb conversations, or we actually get into some juice that provides some decent value. Made dinner, did you take anything? No. 7. I wanted a pullback. 1. We had 18 candles straight of green with 1 red bar on ES. Yeah, I'm not going to take risk on that, personally. I'm going to wait for a little bit. See you, AS Rue. Just DM'd you. Let me check. Got you, brother. I will shoot you a DM right after stream. By the way, Amon says wiggle them faster. So who was that in the trade? Tech spec. You got to wiggle your toes faster and you'll be good. That's all it takes. Yeah, unless we took the initial higher risk, not even higher risk, but just more aggressive entry at the lows. I don't see. I mean, you could take the consolidation to the open on ES or high of day on NQ. Those are probably the only 2 areas I could see something playing out. Other than that, just not overly interested. I'm going as fast as I can. I mean, it's gonna start cramping. A-trades. It's a wonderful thing to be able to do, but at times it will suck ass. It'll suck days like today or Monday where it rips. You had like 1, maybe 2 potential entries and that's it. What does that tell you? If your thesis was correct, like we ended up holding this and rallying, getting above the open, which wanted me to go long. Thesis is there. Now next time you just got to work on executing. Or eventually you'll get a setup that you genuinely like. My feet are windshield wipers. You're supposed to wiggle your toes, not your feet, my guy. Of course, Augie. It's basically stick to the plan. A missed trade is not the end of the world. No, Dev, we're in this for the long run. Is missing this trade the end of the world if you're chasing a payout this week, trying to make a bunch of money right here, right now? Yes. I don't need a bunch of money right here, right now. Do I like money? Of course. Who the hell doesn't? I want to be still trading in a year, 5 years, 10 years. I don't care what today's price action does if I don't trade it. We'll see, Ollie. I'm going to be very interested in the broader structure of things. Like I said earlier, if we're able to get above 550s, I think we can go towards 75, 63s. If we get over today's highs on ES and NQ into tomorrow, I think there's a solid opportunity of getting somewhat like we did Tuesday, where you get this little bit of a rally throughout the entire day. That I'd be very interested in. Or was that Tuesday? Yeah. Other than that, I think I'm going to call it for now. I don't see anything that I love. I know some people are probably taking aggressive shorts. If I was going to short anywhere, 75, 50s would be an area I'd be more interested in than anywhere else in this. But I'm just going to be patient. Wait. We'll see if I take anything tonight. At this point, I don't have high conviction. Because I feel like if we start pulling back and we get a bigger consolidation, that's going to be some pretty trappy price action. Not my favorite to be in. So I might just wait for New York tomorrow, see what everything opens up, and see how we rip. So that's for NVIDIA. Ollie, that's already going to be done. That's already going to be done and locked. Worst case, I lose a little bit of money on it. But we'll see. Hopefully it sets up. No, Velma. I wanted to pull back. Initially, my thesis was if we get this long, test the open, pull back to 26s, and then rally. Once we got over like 35s, I wanted to retest at 35. We never got a single pullback. We got one little candle, one wick that pulled back. Everything else just ripped. So that was a cash session. Maybe check out an Ellen slot? I will. Usually during the overnights, when I'm awake, I'll check it every like 30 minutes or so. But you guys have a great rest of your night. As always, Ellen's on 1 a.m. Eastern. You know it. Jake's back tomorrow. New York Open. So if you missed him today, you can go see him rip it tomorrow. He should be back in his PR setup, so it'll be like the normal basic streams. And then we are back tomorrow for our Friday. You have a great rest of your night. I will see you guys tomorrow.